around here no more. We're tired of his shit. Get rid of him. And Baltimore, sure enough, followed suit and cut his ass. And I 100% agree with it. I 100% applaud my franchise for doing that. No player is bigger than this team, especially a subpar safety at this point in our secondary who doesn't fit our scheme, who didn't buy in. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want that shit. Go to Cleveland, go to Dallas, go be their problem. We don't want to deal with no more. Shout out to my Baltimore Ravens, man.
That's an absolutely great summary of the things that happened. And you said, right before you started there, you said you were going back to the beginning with all of this. And I think you laid that timeline out there beautifully for his time with the Ravens. What stands out to me with this is it's just a shame, because I remember him as just Richard Sherman was the bad guy. You know what I mean? Richard Sherman was one whose mouth was just always running and on display with the Seahawks. And Earl Thomas was just a quiet leader that just, led by example, that just led by his play on the field. And he was dominant. And then at some point, there was this, I hate to even say it, but this Antonio Brown-like turn that he took. There was that situation, the way his career with the Seahawks ended. What should be one of their most storied and historic players, who should go down on their Ring of Fame or Wall of Fame, whatever they've got out there, and say the 12th man, whatever that wall is that they have out there, he should be on it.
Right.
And the last image in a Seahawks jersey that you're going to see is him being rolled out with an injury and flipping his coach and some of his teammates off, giving him middle fingers.
Right.
So there's that. And then there's the way in which like you said, he was swooped away from the Chiefs by an offer at the last second. And he didn't kind of show any remorse about that, or, any apologies to the Chiefs. It was just, it was something like, I snapped up that money real quick, Shortly after that, there was the incident with his wife. We didn't even talk about that.
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
His wife was pointing the gun at him. And that was a whole big, TMZ drama and all this kind of stuff, where that kind of spiraled out of control. And it's like, at some point, I don't know whether it's some of these guys, they get paid and then they just lose their mind, or I don't know exactly what transpires, but for me, this was just kind of a sad one, and I'm interested to see where he goes now. And like you said, with slightly diminished skill set, he got torched for some big plays.
Yes.
Here, which was very un-Earl Thomas-like.
Very consistently.
And it makes you wonder if all those years in Seattle, if maybe he was, by, condition of the unit, if he was maybe a little overrated there. It's hard to say. Again, he's maybe, we're all losing a step, man. You're going to be 30 soon. I've already crossed that threshold. We're all losing a step, buddy. But
that's a fact.
But I don't know if it's just that or if it's maybe a combination of the two. But I'm interested to see where he goes. Anywhere where you do see him as a fit? I know he doesn't sound like he's too high on your Christmas list here. I don't think he's going to be receiving anything from Bryce this year. But where do you think he could end up?
Honestly, bro, I don't know, because think about this, and I've read this on several different reports. There are several different team officials who were shocked that he couldn't work it out with the Baltimore Ravens, because the one thing about the Baltimore Ravens franchise, where like this franchise is one of the model franchises in the NFL. The way that they conduct their business and the way that players respond with playing for this franchise is first class all the way. Okay. So for you not to be able to make it with this franchise, it's sort of like the Antonio Brown situation. Like you said, Antonio Brown couldn't make it with the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the model franchises in the NFL. So then what franchise can you work with? What, you're going to go to a Cleveland Browns franchise who, they just lost their safety Delpit for the season with an Achilles. But you want to bring that type of toxicity to that franchise who's been the epitome of shit since they've been in the league. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys, maybe that's the team there. Jerry Jones is always looking for headlines. I'm pretty sure if they was on Hard Knocks, they probably would have swooped him up right away, because that would have been great content for TV. But maybe he makes it out with that franchise. That's probably the only team I could think of that he could go to. But even they were saying, there's been reports that they don't want nothing to do with him. The Atlanta Falcons, his former coach, his former defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Falcons, said, no, we're good at safety. I don't want nothing to do with him either. So there's just several teams that are already saying that, listen, You couldn't make it work in Baltimore, one of the model franchises in this league. Why would I think you could come here and be any different? You know what I'm saying? He got his money. It seemed like, maybe he doesn't care about football anymore. The man, like, he was late for a practice, Rueter, one time because he said he had to go and wash his damn car. Like, what type of example is that? Who wants that around their young players? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's ridiculous, bro. That is ridiculous.
So the most recent fight was with Chuck Clark, right? Who's a younger player.
Chuck Clark, we drafted him in 2017, and we recently gave him an extension. And he's one of the leaders of not only our defense, but he's one of the leaders of our overall team. He's a highly respected player on our team, and I think he's going to be getting more clout once he started to make bigger splashes, because he just became a starter last year when Tony Jefferson got hurt, and he was really, really good. So expect him to see his name pop up a lot more. And he got into a fight with him because Chuck called him out on his shit, and he was dead ass right. And then when he tried to pick a fight with him, the whole team rallied behind Chuck. And this would led to the demise of him ultimately being in Baltimore.
When I look at a lot of these things, the last thing that I kind of have to say about it is I love listening to the opinions of former players on this. And I don't think anybody put it better than Ryan Clark. I don't know if you saw what he said about it, but
I did.
I thought it was put so perfectly. It's like, first of all, when you see these fights, right? If Baltimore wanted any semblance of keeping this guy, right, keeping Earl Thomas around, they could have. There are fights in every single training camp, right? Some that the team keeps quiet, right? That's hush hush, that stays within the team, first of all.
Right.
So if this got out, the Ravens wanted this to get out. They might have been looking to move on from him and his $34 million contract anyway.
Right.
Okay. So on top of that, he said, oftentimes these fights, they don't occur within a unit, right? So that was an interesting part of this that we haven't talked about. This is within the unit that's fighting. A lot of times you'll see guys, these guys are battling for, spots on the team. And, you have a defensive lineman fighting with an offensive lineman because they've been throwing their bodies at each other for the last, 3 hours and 2-a-days and all this kind of stuff, right? So there's some heated altercations there. But for a younger player to be able to, dress down a player of Earl Thomas's stature and the things that he's done in the past, and for have the team support him, to have the team support Chuck Clark, on top of the fact that normally these things don't get out and normally it's not within the unit. It just goes to show you, I think they were looking for a way away from this guy. And I think you said it best. The team got together and they said, look, enough for your shit, man. You're not a fit here. So it makes me wonder if there's a different type of fit out there. And if there is, I don't know, because I don't think any teams nowadays, they want that. They're kind of steering away from those troublemakers.
Exactly, man. It is getting to the point now where teams, and shout out to the 2 Point Conversation, Matt Johnson and guys, they did an episode about this where they're talking about talent versus culture. And it seems like nowadays teams are leaning more towards the culture of their team as opposed to ignoring a lot of stuff that talented players would bring to their team. Like you think about in the past, like there's been plenty of players that have been head cases that teams will put up with because they're so good, such as Terrell Owens, in his locker rooms, countless stories about him. Nothing illegal off the field, of course, but just the stuff that went on in the locker rooms when he was there. Think about Antonio Brown. Like Ryan Clark was one of the first people that said it. Like, yo, this dude he's a troublemaker in the making, and then we finally see it blow up. Yeah, exactly.
Don't pay this guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's countless examples of talented players who nowadays in 2020 that teams aren't going to be putting up with no more. Like the NFL, like it's so advanced nowadays that we're finding talented players not only in like the later draft picks, like 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, but then also undrafted free agents are coming in and making impacts. Like you have Phillip Lindsay as a fucking undrafted running back go into a Pro Bowl his rookie season. So teams are not going to put up with this anymore, where they can go and find a comparable replacement for you for cheaper. And it's something when they owe you guaranteed money and they don't even care. Like, yo, you got to get out of here, bro. Like we can't have you around here no more.
They're paying you to go away at that
exactly.
point. Yeah,
some Osweiler shit.
That's tough. And this is what got out, right? I mean, and you saw, like you said, and it makes me think even more about it. I didn't really think about until you said it, the fact that this is a kind of a put together, storied, well-run franchise. The parallels between this and the Antonio Brown case, I think, are incredible because same thing there. Suddenly stuff started to get out, right, from Steelers camp where Antonio Brown, he can't get along with anybody. Can't get along with his quarterback, can't get along with other receivers. I mean, he was talking trash about Juju Smith-Schuster, who at the time was a rookie receiver who happened to get some looks.
Looked him as a big brother. He looked at Antonio Brown as a big brother.
Yep, and just called him out. I thought that was just deplorable. And I see a lot of the same things going on with Earl Thomas here, and it's just a shame because these were two players that I really liked before. Antonio Brown was the model during the periods where there were the TOs and the Ocho Cincos and all these prima donna wide receivers, the classic antics that they were up to. And Antonio Brown was just kind of a shut up and play guy, went out there and just dominated, right? And nobody worked harder, and he was the model on what to be. And he just went off the deep end. And I see the same thing happening here, and I'd be willing to bet. And I hate to think it or say it or wish it on somebody, but I wouldn't be surprised if we heard some kind of further crazy story coming from Earl Thomas's inner circle there.
Bro, when he posted the play online, you want to talk about unwritten rules, bro? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You don't take a practice play and put it on Instagram for everybody to go see. I guess we put it all out here. This is a play that will happen. Like, what is you doing? Like, that was the final straw. Like, at that point, you got to go. You putting our plays online now, bro? Yeah, you got to go. It's over. You got to go. Get out of here. Yeah, so
man.
I don't feel no empathy for him. I don't feel no sympathy for him. I'm glad he's gone. We got a young safety in Deshaun Elliott who he's been hurt the last couple of years, and finally he's going to get his opportunity. And from what I've seen in practice, man, we're good. We're good in Baltimore. Good luck to anybody else that signs Earl Thomas. But that's all I can say. I'm done.
That's it, huh? It's over?
Yeah, I'm done with that. So, yeah, that's about it. You got anything else that you want to add?
No, man, I think that's really it. I thought this was, kind of a fun time, as you mentioned, from a distance here today. It was still enjoyable hanging out with you here, just online, I guess. Can people hang out online now? I guess that's what we do, right? I mean,
pretty much. Yeah, the only thing we miss right now is as I can't see you because you don't have the webcam, but
you're not missing anything there, man. I'm telling you, it's nothing good to see on this side. I promise you that. But I think kind of a lot of fun for me today. We got to speak kind of seriously for a moment towards the beginning, kind of some heaviness behind the conversation, but it was a good one, man. I really enjoyed it, and then kind of moving into a little couple of current events there, and I had a great time today, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too, man. And for everybody listening, we appreciate you for listening. And hopefully this episode kind of sheds some light, and hopefully you guys take something away from this. We're gonna have, we're gonna be going back to our more lighthearted episodes and the different like quirkiness. And I've been cooking some things up in the kitchen, Rueter. So I'm gonna be throwing some ideas at you and see if they stick or not. So
what people don't know is Bryce cooks these things up. And that's all well and good, but then I've got to taste them. You know what I mean? So you're in there cooking with weird stuff, weird food combinations, weird stuff that you're cooking. You're always got something that you're throwing at me. I do hope to see some cool stuff on our social media presence soon.
Yes.
So, please check us out. Bryce, you know how to do your thing, man. Plug all of our good stuff and let them know what's coming.
Yeah, so go and like our Facebook page, please. Sports Your Enthusiasm Sports Podcast right on Facebook. If you are on Twitter, and I know all of you listening right now are damn near on Twitter, go and follow us on Twitter. We need more followers because we barely got none. SYE Pod. Also, man, go watch us go listen to us on the Push Start Media Network, pushstartmedianetwork.com. Man, that's our platform. And go and download our episodes. All of our past episodes are on there, so you can go check them out. What am I missing? Email us, Gmail, Sports Your Enthusiasm Podcast at gmail.com. Email us any questions. Email us how you feel about this episode. Give us some suggestions for future episodes. All that good stuff.
Bryce, did you know that you can listen to us on Spotify? Did you know that?
I did, because I have it set up that way. Yeah.
Oh, you set it up that way. Well, of course then, I guess. But for anybody who didn't know, Spotify, just search Sport Your Enthusiasm, and you can hear me on Spotify. How fun is that, right?
Just like strictly Ed. Like, I'm not part of no episodes on Spotify. It's just him talking.
I guess I should have said us there, huh? You could hear us. You see where my narcissism was kicking through. I was thinking about myself there.
Hey, I respect it, man.
You can hear both of us. You can hear both of us on Spotify.